Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to online classes of Iqra Hufaz Secondary Schools, our project of Iqra Education System. My dear students, in the last lecture, we discussed the keywords and their meanings of Chapter 2, the Vice Caliph. I hope you have written them in your registers and memorized them by heart. Today, in this lecture, I will explain the chapter. Let's discuss the title, the Vice Caliph. What are you expecting to read by going through the title, the Vice Caliph? Yes, I hear you say something. Speak loudly. Okay, now tell me, what does Caliph mean? Yes, right. Caliph means the ruler of Muslims. By the way, which Caliph of Muslims is this chapter about? You may look at the first sentence and come to know that Caliph Harun al-Rashid is the main focus of this chapter. I have some information for you about Harun al-Rashid, which is not given in this chapter of our book. Let's take a look at the board. The complete name of Caliph Harun al-Rashid is Harun al-Rashid ibn al-Mahdi. He was the fifth Caliph of Abbasi dynasty. He was born on 17th March, but his year of birth is debated. Different historians have mentioned different years from 763 AD to 766 AD. His epithet, which means title, was Rashid, which in English means the just, the upright. And his ruling period was from 786 AD to 809 AD. My dear students, it was Harun al-Rashid who established a legendary library named Baitul Hikmah, which means House of Wisdom, in Baghdad. During his rule, Baghdad began to flourish as a center of knowledge, culture, and trade. Let's review this chapter and get to know an interesting dispute and a wise decision made by this Caliph. Caliph Harun al-Rashid was famous for his wisdom and knowledge. One day, he was holding a court. Qazi of the city brought a disputed case before him. In fact, two persons claimed the same horse. One of them was a beggar, while the other was a rich man. Qazi was unable to decide the case, so he brought it before the Caliph for decision. Caliph Harun al-Rashid asked the rich man for presenting facts. The rich man told him that while he was riding to the city on the horse, this lame fellow made a request to him for a lift up to the city gate. When they reached the city gate, the beggar refused to get down and claimed the horse was his. Then the beggar told his story. He said that as he was riding his horse to the city this morning, the rich man tried to borrow his horse. As he was a stranger for him, so he could not lend him his horse, but gave him ride up to the city gate. On reaching the city gate, rich man refused to get down and claimed that the horse was his. Caliph Harun al-Rashid asked both of them to touch the horse one by one. As it is clear that animals can feel the touch of their owner and they can feel intimacy and affection. When the beggar touched the horse winced as if it did not like it. But the horse expressed its pleasure when the rich man touched it. The caliph instantly gave his decision that the horse belonged to the rich man. The caliph admonished and reprimanded the beggar, but the rich man forgave him, and moreover gave him a handful of gold coins. Everybody in the court liked and appreciated rich man's act of generosity. So my brothers, what is the moral of this story? There are two morals of this story. Number one, Muslim rulers like Harun al-Rashid and many others were famous for their wisdom, knowledge and just decisions. We need such rulers again who may help Muslims achieve their former greatness in the world by following and exemplifying the teachings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Moral number two, the lesson the wise caliph teaches us that if somebody is dishonest to you and treats you in the bad manner, you should not treat him in the same way. The best revenge for a bad deed is a good deed. I hope you have enjoyed and understood chapter number 2, the wise caliph. There are many other such incidents of wisdom, justice and knowledge of Muslim rulers. You may go through a couple of them and share with us the one that inspires you. That's all for the explanation of chapter number 2. See you in the next lecture on explanation of exercises. Till then, take very good care of yourselves, complete your assignments, submit them in your branches, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.